Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are doing a drugstore foundation routine with all of my absolute favorite drugstore items for the face. We kept the eyes and lips super simple, but I will show you what I used for both of those as well. But more so, I'm going into detail on how I like to hide spots, how I like to brighten and bake and highlight, and just all of my favorite products for a full-on affordable foundation routine, face routine. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It's pretty simple, and let's just hop to the tutorial. Guys, I'm having an unusually tired feeling day, so let's fix the face situation and start off with 2 primers instead of 1. My skin is a little bit acting out as far as being oily and dry, so I'm going to take Monistat Chafing Gel. Yes, Monistat for your face. This is at the drugstore. I will link a video below where I explain why I like this so much. It's much like the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, but more affordable. And then I am also going to take the Milani Prime Shield Face Primer, which is mattifying and pore minimizing. This one is oil-free, and I'm just going to take this one on my T-zone, around my nose, areas that I know I have been getting oily, because that's just been happening recently. A little goes a long way with primers. Don't overdo it. I'm just taking a tiny bit, dabbing it on, and kind of patting it in to minimize the look of pores, fine lines, set my skin up for smoother foundation application, you know, all that good stuff. This foundation is by Maybelline. This is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless, and I am the shade Buff Beige, and I am going to be using mainly drugstore brushes, etc., but I did have to use my beauty blender. I'm sorry. It's just what makes my foundation go on the best, especially with this guy. This is how I like to apply it. So yeah, what I am doing is just bouncing the beauty blender up and down, up and down. I'm not swiping the product around. You really just want to dab your product in. And if you use a different sponge and not a beauty blender, that's fine. Just make sure you dampen the sponge first. You're always going to get a more sheer, natural application if you use a dampened sponge. And I always go slightly over my lips just to give a nice base for any lip contouring, lipstick, etc. that I might be doing later on. Just helps things to wear a little bit better. And the other thing that I do is I always kind of pull my hair back, and this region right here tends to get a lot of neglect. So make sure that you are going all the way back to your ear and then down around the jawline, just so you don't have any weird demarcation lines. I will be bronzing up the neck because I feel like I'm just pale everywhere, and this might be a tiny bit too dark. But don't just stop right here. Make sure you get underneath your chin, back to your ears. Just continue bouncing and blending. And with this foundation, you could go another layer if you wanted. I'm just going to stick with it like this. All right, moving on, I'm going to take a Morphe M212 brush. Now, this is a concealer from Sonya Kashuk. You can find this at Target, and it comes with a setting powder and then 3 different shades, which really you can customize, which I'm going to do on my hand to match my face. So I'm not brightening, lightening, highlighting. I'm just trying to use this as an actual concealer to conceal my sunspots, scars, and I'm just pressing that in and patting in gently with my fingertip. If you stroke concealer on and then you rub it around, you're really defeating the purpose. So make sure that you dab the product in and just lightly tap on top of it to blend out the edges. And I always get around the nose because I always get red there. Little extra help never hurt. I'm going to take my L'Oreal True Match Concealer. This is in the shade W123, and I'm going to be pretty heavy-handed with this underneath my eye and kind of in that triangular shape, but not going too low. I want to keep it a little bit up. Just emphasize my cheekbones, cancel out darkness. Down the bridge of the nose is always a good idea. Make little designs on your forehead. And I'm also going to go kind of right here just to brighten up this region. Basically, anywhere you put a concealer that is a little bit lighter is going to bring those features forward. So if you have shadowing or things that you just want to brighten and lift, then take your brightening concealer and apply it on those areas. And then go back to your sponge or whatever you were using. And I'm just dabbing. Dab, dab, dab. And I'm going to take a little bit of the excess on my eyelids to prime them. Going into my very favorite drugstore powder. This is from COTY. This is the Airspun powder, and this is in Naturally Neutral. And I'm just going to dip my sponge. Whoa. Dip my sponge in the powder and kind of pack it on underneath my eye. Bake the crap out of my under eye. I love baking with makeup. And then whatever excess I have on here, I kind of like to wipe it off and then dab it on my eye and get really close in those inner corners. Dab, 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 set any of that extra concealer that we placed on the eyelid and make everything lock into place all day long. So while my face is baking, I am going to move on to eyebrows, and I have found the absolute best eyebrow pencil ever at the drugstore. This is from L'Oreal. Holy crap, I need my eyebrows done so bad. I think it's been like, I really think it's been like almost 3 months. Ignore that. Please don't judge me. Okay, we're gonna fill them in, and I will clean up a little bit of the nonsense going on with some concealer after I fill these suckers in. I am using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in Brunette. And that's about as good as they are going to get pre-cleanup, so I'm making a brow appointment today. It needs to happen. I'm gonna go back to this Sonya Kashuk concealer quad, and I'm going to take an angled brush. This is the 215 small angle from Luxy. Very affordable brushes. I just started playing around with this line, and so far I really like it. So I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of the lighter concealer in here and basically conceal where all of the brow hairs are, you know, growing in, and kind of trick the eye a little bit into having a cleaner, more precise line. It's a little thing, but you can see how that makes it more sharp. Our bake is now done, and I'm going to be taking the Morphe E8, and I'm going to take some of the excess powder in the lid of this COTY Airspun powder, just so when I'm whisking things away, nothing is dragging, and I'm just going to kind of dust everything out and off. And then I like to take whatever excess and just kind of dab along the face, just to set everything else. This is the Infallable Pro Contour, and I'm taking the shade Light. I'm going to take a brush from Makeup Geek. This is the Chiseled Cheek Brush, and I'm going to grab that contour shade and just literally grab it directly on the flat part of this brush. I am going to kind of dab on the back of my hand some of the excess, and then go down the bridge of the nose, the sides of the nose. And I'm also going to contour my cheekbones just a little bit and just keep blending. You don't have to press very hard, use a light hand, but just keep blending that product around where you want it so that it all kind of meshes together and doesn't just look like a stripe. This is one of the best contour powders from the drugstore. I do really enjoy this quite a bit. Now we're moving into bronzer, and I have two of them in front of me. They are both from Physicians Formula, and one is a little bit lighter and has a little more of a sheen to it, and one has more of a matte finish and is a little bit warmer. So this is the BB, it's warmer. This is the Insta Ready Filter Bronzer, and I'm going to be using both. This is actually a blush brush from Revlon, and I'm going to take the darker bronzer first. And I'm almost going to apply it like I would a blush, but starting more further back toward my ear. And then going up to the temples, and then down along the jawline. I'm just warming up the face. Then I'm going to take a fluffier brush. This one is from Flower Cosmetics. You can find this at Walmart. It is a pretty great giant brush that's affordable. And I'm going to grab the more sheer shimmery one and just kind of lightly dust along the perimeter. This is the Sonya Kashuk number 29, and I am taking Pearlescent Pink from Wet n Wild. This is the new formula. They updated the packaging and the formula, and I really love it a lot. It's super pigmented, so be warned of that. I'm going to kind of smack some of the excess powder off and run it on the back of my hand before I go directly on the apples of my cheeks, just to make sure that I don't overdo it. But this does blend beautifully. It is a total dupe for NARS's Orgasm, and I love it. I actually like it better than NARS's Orgasm. I know that's crazy because it's like $2.99, but it's a beautiful blush. If you don't have this in your collection, you're missing out. Time to highlight, and I am so stuck on these guys right here. I have two versions. They look like they are identical. They're not. They're slightly different. One is the warm nude, one is the natural nude. I'm going to go with the natural nude today, and I'm going to take a fan brush from Luxy. So happy I'm moving away from these motorcycles, dear God. And I'm going to grab the lighter shades in here and just really add a glow to the tops of my cheekbones. Look at that. Oh my God, it's so good. I love it. One of the best highlighters from the drugstore for sure. I'm going to completely skip the lip liner and just go straight for a swipe of this In a Nutshell lipstick from H&M. Super affordable. It's just a nice nude. I don't want to do too much with the eyes and the lips because this really was about the detailing of the face with drugstore items. However, I will be right back. I'm just going to add a little bit of a winged liner from Essence, which is like $3 and incredible, some mascara, and maybe a little bit of an inner corner pop with this guy from Rimmel. So I will be right back. And I'm back. So basically this is it. I'm gonna do just a couple of other little teeny tiny things that are optional. Everything's optional. It's not like I'm forcing you to do every step, but I do have a brow setting gel from Wet n Wild that I really enjoy, so long as you kind of take some of the excess off with a paper towel or a tissue first so that you don't glop it everywhere. But this really does add some fullness and helps everything to stay in place. I really like it. I hope you guys enjoyed a detailed look on all of these steps if I was really going full force into like full face, conceal the spots, do the highlight, do the baking, and I were to use drugstore products, these are the best of the best. I hope you did enjoy this video. As always, give it a thumbs up if you like it, leave me comments, I read them all, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hey guys, you can also check my videos out on watchable.com or by downloading the Watchable mobile app. Check me out, link is in the description.